Hey viewers, Hexcraft here. Before we get started, a few things. First off, Veigar this week because, well, my birthday's coming up, and or past, and I wanted to do a Veigar video before, during, day of, after. I haven't decided when this video's coming out yet. But yeah, I want to cover Veigar. So, let's get into it. As always, base skin gets a 5. And honestly, when it comes to base Veigar, what is there to talk about, really? Iconically, he has his hat, he has his big gauntlet, and he has this oversized staff that looks like it could be an axe. Of course, his abilities are always clean and very nice, and it's a very simple look. Though at some points, you could have jokingly said he looks like a minion. But all in all, for base skin being a small mage using dark magic of sorts, it fits. Now this one's disappointing, actually. I like the whole white and red look, however, the magic is still the same. And yes, this is an old skin, and it's just a recolor, which is sad, because if it actually was, say, red effects or white effect, I feel like the skin would have been so much, more interesting. All in all, though, it's a 5. Yeah, just like the first one and the second one, this skin does not have as much going for it. Spell effects are still the same. Hat's a bit different, with some different, color schemes, instead of just being solid colors. And of course, his staff is his curling tool. All in all, it's a nice skin in that, and honestly, again, if you have it, it's better than base slightly with the staff. However, not better enough to get a higher grade. It's gonna get a 5, and it's kind of funny because it's actually closer shade of blue to the blue minion, so yeah, you got yourself a minion. Finally, this skin is one of the first actually interesting skins. I do like the whole Gandalf the Grey design. It's a cool little idea, giving Veigar the what if he was this greater wizard. Of course, spell effects aren't anything different to go by, but of course the robes are there. He has a buckle, he has his beard now. His glove isn't this spiky gauntlet, it's just an old brown glove, and his staff is the wooden staff with a gem inside it. All in all, again, very simple changes, but it's better than just being a recolor of base with slightly small differences. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6. I've had many people tell me this is just me because I'm part Irish, and as someone who enjoys playing Veigar, I have friends who question why don't I use this skin. I don't have it, and I really don't care for it. But, all honesty, it's not, I don't care because it's bad, I don't care because I have a lot of Veigar skins already. All in all, some parts of him are just recolors, just green and such. However, he does have the orange beard, he has the top hat, and his staff is the 4-leaf clover. A thing people don't realize, though, is this is more than just a simple, basic skin. There are gold coin effects in his Q and his W, but also the rainbow that slams down, and of course his E having the rainbow and 3-leaf clover effects. He also does have a pot of gold on his back, small detail, and of course, his ult is just the same. All in all, this is very nice. Little details like those improve the idea of just reusing the same effect. So all in all, I gotta give it a 7. They did a lot for such a little thing. So yeah. This skin is decent. Model-wise, again, pretty nice. It's also another skin I get joked about because I am also part German. And yeah, all in all, suit's very nice outfit. The scarf instead of a beard now. Actually having the helmet on instead of just a big hat. Having a ring on his gauntlet hand being now also just a glove. And his staff being more of a cane. All in all, it's a really nice skin, and I feel like it'd be better if it had subtle little detail changes in the effect, similar to how Leprechaun did. But no, they're the same effect, so I'm gonna give it a 6. And this is interesting, because this is another skin that is technically using the same effects as base, but I feel like the model itself does enough of a big change. Of course, now we have this whole evil villain look. Monocle, curly mustache, top hat, big, intimidating silver gauntlet, staff with a hand holding this giant orb. It's all really great, this villainous look. And a small detail that I like is the difference in the E, actually. I don't know if those are the same structures from his original, like, alt E, but, fixed up a bit. But all in all, they look good for the model. And again, the model I feel like is unique enough that it could be so good. Give it a little bit more pizzazz in its abilities, and it'd be a great skin, but I'd say it's a low 7 at least. I always thought it was weird that Veigar got the evil Santa skin out of all the Santa Clauses. There's such other big villainous characters in League, but all in all, it worked. The evil look of his design gives off this menacing, evil vibe to him. Yet again, being his short stature, it still is a goofy skin. The curved candy cane staff also is a nice little detail as well. Besides that, it also does have unique spells. You actually throw what looks to be a Christmas cookie in your queue. You bring down an ornament on someone's head. Your E is basically trees and lights. And of course, your alt is throwing a present at someone, with, of course, my favorite thing, the little winter snowflakes and cooled mist effect. All in all, this is a really good skin for something this old. And yeah, being a very well done skin, I gotta give it an 8. Many would call this one of Veigar's best skins, and yeah, honestly, just the model alone and the effects already sell this skin very well. The idea the hands are attached to the body and they actually play off that with watching them rotate around him is great. Seeing his cape pixelate at the end is also a really fun detail, and his hand being basically the power glove. All in all, Final Boss Veigar is a pretty nice character, and that's not even talking about the effect. Of course, pixel effects, as I always say, are great, but this skin also has him casting it out of his glove instead of just his staff. Him pulling down what looks to be coating, this digital firewall of hacks for his E, and of course his ultimate, where you, as a few of my friends in the past jokingly said, throw Riot Spaghetti Code at the enemy. All in all, it's a nice skin, and yeah, it makes sense why it's one of his best skins, and I'm gonna have to give it an 8. There's just some small details that I wish they could done more with. I do like how a lot of it's like the code of like green and black. However, I feel like doing all his abilities like that, and then having his Q still be just multicolored pixel effect, kind of felt a little awkward. I feel like it should have been a better mix. Maybe the E and the alt stay digified, while the W and Q resemble the video game pixel effects. Or make it all basically hacking related and, make it more of a character deal, like he hacks and cheats. It fits Veigar perfectly. But yeah, still a great skin, and still a solid 8, almost that hard 9. This is what Baron Veigar should have been. All in all, it's a really great, well-made skin. Again, first time I get to see Veigar with his hat, showing the cat ears and such. He has his goggle and his mask, he has the robotic hand, little controller in it as well, and his staff being basically a gun with a Tesla beam on it. His Q being a blast of electric energy, his W being basically an airstrike, his E being electric fence are all really cool details I like. His ult is probably the weakest, but again, it's just a blast of energy. One thing I do like as well, though, is that it looks like the Q effect is not casting out the staff, but his actual palm, similar to how it does in the final boss. And of course, him pressing the button for his W, which I don't know if that's the same animation the other ones have. I haven't really seen it on them, but all in all, I think this is a really great skin. It deserves an 8. So this one is actually pretty good. Of course, you have all the spikes, thorns, vines, and flowers effects in its abilities. All pretty great. In fact, one of the ults, I would say, that actually looks devastating because this big spiky orb. Him being the whole mushroom man of the forest is also a cute design. I always thought his face, though, did resemble Majora's Mask in a way. So I was like joking saying this is the Skull Kid skin. All in all, it's a pretty decent skin. However, I feel like when it comes to the Elderwoods, some Elderwoods have a hit or miss mechanic to them when it comes to how good they look. And all in all, it's a decent one. It's okay. It gets a 7, though. I feel like there could be a lot more they could have added. the idea that he is designed to be the Mushroom Mancer, I feel like they should have went more with those kind of shapes and items in his abilities and not just flowers and vines. Now, I will admit, this one is cute. I think the model is great, having the little staff is amazing. However, it does just rely too much on the spatula, I feel like, when it comes to the abilities. It is the, well, spatula and the actual fur horn in these effects and abilities. I will say this feels like the less or weakest impact of an ultimate. It's just throwing the idle model of the fur horn as it rotates and glows. In fact, out of all the abilities that look like it hit the hardest, it's actually the W that looks like it's harder than the ult, being that it lands on top. Of course, the E looks good, and the Q is just the head of the staff, but overall it's still a great skin. It gets a 7. Astronaut skins are okay in my opinion. Sometimes they have real hit or miss, being on the edge of high tech nowadays, but overall this is one of the ones that I still think does look good. The model itself is okay, however where it really shines is the effect. Of course, as always, the Q is Energy Blast, but for his W he drops actually one of those little aliens on you they actually can see after impact. His E is basically a gravitational field from their ships where you actually can see asteroids around it. And his ultimate is him throwing said ship at your face. All in all, a decently well-made skin, and it gets a 7. Now, I can't blame this skin for its concept design, but in all honesty, I think that's the weakest part, the whole Monster Tamer skin line. And it does have that weakness to it because there's only 3 skins, 2 actual trainers and 1 monster, while Veigar's little monster is just this bird on his staff, which out of the skin I think is the coolest part because the actual outfit he has is basically Team Skull if it was edgier. Abilities wise, these are probably, I'd say, a few enhanced versions of his base abilities, though again in his W you actually can see the little creature running through it. You actually have them on little machines in his E, and his ultimate's him throwing this puff of magic smoke at the end. All in all, it's good, but again, it resembles the same one similar to the Furyhorn. It all depends on, do you want the silly trainer or the silly cosplayer? So yeah, it gets a 7. When it comes to goofy skins, I always still think B skins are the superior of them. All his abilities do rely on the B models, however, they all feel a bit more unique still in the impact. Of course, the Q is still very simple, but you can see the B going the entire time with a splatter effect on hit. The W has bees circling around a zone, while another one air strikes down, causing a splatter of honey. Of course, his E is this cone barrier effect with flowers, and fun fact, it's random where bees will spawn on the flowers, and sometimes you might get all flowers, no bees, or all bees. Fun little thing. And lastly, his ultimate. He throws the queen from the staff at you full force with a splatter of honey afterwards. All in all, it's a really nice skin, and it really does stand out as one of the good bee skins, with them actually getting better and better every time they release new ones. So yeah, this gets an 8. This is his second legendary, I believe, and all in all, Fright Night, which is a really good skin line. Now, when it comes to his animations, I have to mention first, yes, some of his abilities feel a little lackluster in effects, people expected. But to be fair, Veigar's abilities aren't really that flashy. It's small details that really point out, as I've been saying. First off, his Q. I do love how he actually throws his staff forward and it spits out the blast. Very nice little details. For his W, he basically calls down the strike, which gives us a little zone, which as it gets closer, you see a swirl appear. The impact is a quick flash and some very not so noticeable smoke. However, a small detail I love is, again, similar to some of the other ones, he has an entire special hand gesture as he summons down the strike. Same thing as he pulls at his E, which is these cool lanterns which resemble his staff. And of course, the best ability of all, his ultimate, he throws his head. A nice little cool effect in my opinion. And of course, the model. It's a cool scarecrow, like demon-possessed creature. And all in all, it's a nice design. I will say, I do think it's funny that it's technically his second legendary and also the second one to have a detached body part. Before it was his hands, now his head. Kind of funny little detail in my opinion. All in all, it's a good skin, and yeah, I think it does deserve an 8. Where the details are limited in certain parts, they did give a good try and a good job, making them have a bit more impact than they would normally. And there you have it. Hope you all enjoyed. If there's a champion you'd like to see, comment down below. Comment which is your favorite Veigar skin. Like and share if you will. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.